What's up, guys? My name is Tommie Bennett, and today we're going to do something special for you. So essentially we're going to discover 5 different ways to overcome fear, but we're going to use some of the clips that I've created in the past, whether it was through the YouTube videos or the Instagram. We're going to use those and discuss some of the ways that I overcome fear and use that as a nice little platform. So at any point, if you dig the content, definitely give it a thumbs up. If I miss anything or you think there's other strategies on how to overcome fear, definitely put them in the description below. So let's get started. I got some clips right here. I'm going to post them over on the screen so we can both see what I'm talking about. Now, point number 1 that I want to discuss is simply, do you have the skills to do what you're trying to do? Now, let's say you're trying to do a crazy 360, but you've never done a 360 before. That can be really challenging to be able to just huck and hope and think everything's going to be okay. There's a few different tactics that we can use to discover the body positions, the balance, the correct mechanics to make the trick a lot easier. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a backside 360. Now, you can practice backside 360s by strapping on your snowboard in your house, so you can have an opportunity to have a safe environment where you can do back threes and practice a whole bunch of really cool 360s. So some of the skills that you need for a backside 360 would be, can you pop? Can you jump, essentially? Can you create air? That's gonna be one. Another one is, can you create rotation? That simply means opening up your shoulder, winding up, and being able to throw. Now, after you throw the trick, where are you looking? It's very important that you're looking where you're going so that you can get the rotation around. You're spotting your landing and then being able to land. Now, the smaller the feature, the quicker you have to do all these movements and these sequences. The bigger the jump, the scarier it is, but the more time you have. So it's very important to be able to understand what the mechanics are at the base level so that you have the confidence, thus having success leading into that trick. So if you've landed 100 backside 360s on flat ground, it's going to be easier to do that on snow. Yes, there's a lot of different mechanics and stuff involved when it comes to taking it on snow, but that's going to be the first thing is, do you have the skills? Are you prepared to do what you're trying to do? I definitely suggest that during the off-season, pre-season, that you're working out and that you're practicing these tricks at home. There are pieces of equipment out there like the Snowboard Addiction board that allows you to strap in, simulate snowboarding, and then be able to practice it without hauling all your gear around, the boots, the binding. It's super simple. So I do have that in the description down below, but that's the first thing. Do you have the skill? So the next thing is, do you have the experience, both positive and negative associations with those tricks? So let's say you're trying that backside 360. Well, have you ever done it on a small jump? And what was the positive and negative of that? The positive was, yeah, you were able to do it. The negative was you fell. Well, when I fell, it does give me a piece of feedback of, okay, you did something wrong. Now you got to identify, what did you do wrong? So that's definitely very helpful, is having that experience. But that experience will compile over time, year after year after year, so that when you're doing a backside 360, that you've had experience on what it's like to do a 360 on ice versus soft snow versus powder versus a sunny day versus a low light day versus a big jump, a small jump, a side hit, a park jump off of a log, off of a rail. There's so many different variances within that backside 360 that the more backside 360s you do, the more experience you have. And then when you go back into that same situation, let's say you're doing a backside 360 on a icy, low light, medium-sized jump. Well, you have experience with all those different combinations that as you go into the jump, that you're already thinking about, what do I need to do based on what I've already done. I know that I have to keep a relatively low edge angle. If I have too high of an edge angle on an icy jump, I have a better chance of slipping out. So I know I have to keep a lower edge angle. Also, if I lean too much over on the ice, I'm going to slip out. So I know that I have to be stacked. In addition to those two things, being able to hit a medium-sized jump does give me an indication of how big I need to go on this specific feature. So I am relying on my experience to lead me to success for that specific trick. Now, if I have all those experiences, I'm going to be less fearful because I know what to expect. I know what I'm getting into. For the first time ever doing a 360, I'm going to have a lot of fear, so I don't know what to expect, but that's why we want to start small. Now, that leads into the third point. Are you doing it in a progressive manner? Now, we've talked about doing a bunch of backside 360s for, at home and stuff, but there is a point where I have to just do this 360. But if I'm doing it on snow, I can do it flat flat ground, and then a baby like side hit, and then maybe a catwalk, and then a medium, a small size jump inside the park, and then I'm gonna take it to a medium and then a medium. So I've taken this 360, but I've done it in like 15 steps leading to where I go. And that progressive thought process is gonna make it where each step of the way is achievable. The biggest thing about overcoming fear is if the fear is so big because we're taking a huge step to get there, that it's going to be this overwhelming fear, is, you know, overwhelming fear. It's going to take over us. But can we bridge the gap where it's a bunch of small steps? If I'm trying to go up a flight of stairs and they're little stairs, then those steps are super easy. But I have to run and jump to get to the next stair. That leap is so big. What if I slip out? What if I hit my shins against the edge of the stair? That's where that fear is. But if I just take small steps, all of a sudden it's very, very manageable. So the third point would be having logical progression and being able to take those small steps. Now, the next point we're going to talk about is getting feedback and having somebody help you through the process. Now, when it comes to helping you through the process, maybe somebody else, maybe it's a friend, maybe you hire a coach, maybe you hire an instructor, you watch YouTube videos, you go on Instagram and you look at all these different resources. There's forums on Reddit and Facebook groups. There's a ton of resources out there. They're going to help you bridge that gap. Now, if you want to learn a backflip and you're just hucking and chucking, is there a smarter and more progressive way? Maybe there are resources. Now, in addition to the steps, is being able to get feedback. When us as snowboarders do a trick, we have this very narrow perception of what we're doing, right? Because we see from here and we feel what we're doing, but somebody from the outside watching us may give us a good indication or a good piece of feedback on our snowboard trick that we had no idea about. And it could be as simple as you're not taking enough speed into the jump to get enough air to clear the jump because you're so focused on the rotation. Maybe you're not popping enough. Maybe you're throwing it, but then your eyes go directly down to the ground where you should keep your eyes up and looking in the direction you're traveling. There's so many different things that somebody else could be helping us with. And again, that could be an instructor, coach, it could be friends. Maybe you get videos and send it to people. Like, there's so many ways that you can do that. So finding ways to get feedback for you is going to be extremely important so that you can get a different perspective and somebody can help you out. Pretty awesome, right? The fifth point that, the fifth point that I have on here is making sure that you have a really cool support team / crew that you ride with. Now, let's say we're gonna hit a 10-foot cliff. Now, for some riders, that may be extremely scary, and some others, it's not. For the people that's not scary, they can go first, and then it shows you that it's safe. You can also watch how much speed did they take in? What body positions did they use? And how did they handle the run out? What are some dangers that you got to be aware of? Well, you're able to see somebody else do that before you go. So that's a huge part about the support team or the crew that you ride with, is being able to watch those riders and steal little tidbits from them, as well as being able to relate to that person. Okay, this specific individual has this same skill level as me. Well, if they can do it, I know I can do that. That boosts my confidence. And that takes some of the fear away because I know that it's doable, right? In addition to that, having a support team that's going to encourage you and create a fun and engaging environment where it's okay if you do fall, but let's make it as successful as possible. If it's don't fall, don't fall, you're going to focus on falling. So make sure you're riding with people encouraging you. That is fun and having a good time. So it's very important to have all of that together. So as a bonus, we're gonna do something special. What I wanna do is, as a community, you are gonna write down your #1 tactic on how you overcome fear, and you're gonna put it in the comments down below. Now, my hopes for this is somebody's gonna go read the comments and see other ways that you handle the fear. And somebody, I guarantee it, is gonna resonate with how you do it, in addition to everything I've posted here. Something that I like to do when it comes to having like a crazy amount of fear, even though I've taken all these steps, there may be a point where you're gonna have to take a leap, and that leap would be jumping off a cliff. I will go into that situation, look at it, inspect it, and then the sooner I hit it, the more I'm gonna be able to reduce that fear. If I sit on top of a cliff for like 45 minutes, imagine how much fear, that bubble of fear is gonna grow and grow and grow, and it's gonna be massive. But if I can just handle the fear by going and using all the tactics that I've put in this video, but I just go. That's one way that I handle the fear, is by just moving. Just going for the leap of faith, because I know I have the skill, I know I have the experience, I know I have the feedback, I know I have the support team, that I'm just gonna go. So that's something that I like to do specifically. But what do you like to do? So let me know in the comments below, how do you handle the fear? This has been a really fun and different video. So if you guys are interested in supporting the channel at all, down in the description below, there are a few different ways that you can help support the channel. A couple of them include going to my live stream, interacting with me, asking me questions, and there's an opportunity to do donations, as well as I do have merch. I have stickers, like, oh, I don't have my phone on me. I do have stickers, all sorts of fun stuff. And if you want to work with me, I am hosting a snowboard camp. So check the link down below for the dates and availability. I have an online snowboard course. So pretty cool options there. Well, on that note, guys, this has been absolutely fun. Super stoked to do this style of video. Let me know if you guys dig this as well. All right, guys, on that note, we're out of here.